We are nearly 2 months into the 2023 NFL season, so there's been plenty of time to evaluate every first-round pick.
And that's all I care about, man. So I'm going to be the best teammate, the best leader, the best quarterback I can be.
Mid-season rookie report card is now in session, so let's grade all 31 first-round picks based on what we've seen so far. Number 1, Bryce Young, C-. Young looked every bit like a rookie QB in his first 3 games, but he finally showed some promise in a 3 TD outing in the Panthers' Week 5 blowout loss to the Detroit Lions. This was always going to be a learning year for Young and the rebuilding Panthers. The goal for Carolina is to evaluate Young's weaknesses now, then focus on repairing them next year. Number 2, CJ Stroud, A+. Stroud has been far and away the best rookie QB thus far. The dude set a new record for most career pass attempts to start a career without throwing an interception at 191. Stroud is displaying grade A accuracy and decision-making. He's formed terrific chemistry with Nico Collins and fellow rookie Tank Dell, who should be one of football's top receiving duos for years to come. Number 3, Will Anderson Jr., B+. Anderson hasn't exactly stuffed the stat sheet, and his pass rushing game hasn't yet translated over to the pros. But he's been a beast against the run, and Anderson Jr.'s dominance there has been pivotal in the Texans' rapid turnaround on defense under DeMeco Ryans. Pro Football Focus graded Anderson at an impressive 80.3 on the season through 6 weeks. The guy's doing pretty dang well. Number 4, Anthony Richardson, B. Anderson's dazzling rookie year unfortunately ended after just 4 games, as he required season-ending shoulder surgery after suffering an injury in Week 5 against the Tennessee Titans. But what an impression he left in those 4 games. The future has arrived in Indy, all right. Let us just hope that he's healthy and back to full strength for 2024. Number 5, Devin Witherspoon, A+. Witherspoon was the consensus top defensive back entering the 2023 draft, and let me tell ya, he's played every bit like it. In his first 4 games, Witherspoon had 1 interception, 7 pass defenses, and a pair of sacks. Yeah, move aside, fellow star Tariq Woolen, you are no longer Seattle's top corner. Number 6, Paris Johnson Jr., D-. It's been a rough go for Johnson Jr. in the desert. He's taken too many penalties and has been a major liability in the run-blocking game. Yeah, Kyler Murray would have masked some of those issues on this O-line, but the Arizona Cardinals had high expectations for Johnson Jr. He hasn't got it going as a pass blocker either. Number 7, Tyree Wilson, F. Yeesh, what a disappointment Wilson has been in Sin City. The weekly stat sheet shows a lot of zeros, and PFF is no fan whatsoever. Through the Las Vegas Raiders' first 6 games, Wilson had a gross 33.7 grade. In other words, he is causing way more harm than good just by being on the field. Number 8, Bijan Robinson, A+. Robinson has come completely as advertised in Atlanta. He's on pace for over 1,100 rushing yards and more than 1,600 total yards of offense. Now we see why the Falcons wanted him so badly despite the presence of Tyler Algier. Number 9, Jalen Carter, A+. Even though he's only playing about half of the Eagles' defensive snaps, Carter has been an absolute menace in the trenches. He had 3.5 sacks in his first 5 games, good for a ridiculous PFF grade of 91.8. It is simply unfair that he fell to the Philadelphia Eagles of all teams. Number 10, Darnell Wright, C+. Wright has struggled in pass protection and needs to cut back on the penalties. But he has been terrific in run blocking, and his performances there are a key reason why Chicago's ground game remains one of football's best. Number 11, Peter Skoronski, B. Skoronski has been one of the few positives on a sluggish Tennessee team that's not doing much right offensively. The Titans took a risk by starting the ex-Northwestern offensive tackle at guard, but Skoronski has embraced the challenge. Entering Week 7, Skoronski was PFF's highest-graded rookie guard. Number 12, Jahmyr Gibbs, D-. No clue why the Lions drafted Gibbs when they already had David Montgomery, who's been an absolute beast out of the backfield. When Gibbs is healthy, the Lions are barely featuring him in the offense. Gibbs isn't getting an F because it's simply not his fault that the Lions aren't using him. He's almost impossible to evaluate right now. Number 13, Lucas Van Ness, C-. The Packers had enough playmakers in the front 7 going into the draft, so kind of remain curious behind their decision to take Van Ness here. Van Ness is only seen about 1/3 of the Packers' defensive snaps. There aren't any stats that jump out, and the advanced statistics and metrics don't really paint a good picture of him either. Another kid who's got a lot of work to do if he's to become a star in this league. Number 14, Broderick Jones, B. The Steelers are using Jones in a rotational role, but he has been more than steady as a pass blocker, and we all know that a bright future lies ahead for this this young man in Steel City. Pittsburgh was smart to not rush his development. He has been very serviceable as a rotational piece and just might end up a permanent starter before his rookie season concludes. Number 15, Will McDonald IV, F. The Jets didn't need more pass rushers, but they just couldn't help but take Iowa State standout Will McDonald IV anyway. Not sure why they were obsessed with him. McDonald is seeing less than a fifth of the Jets' defensive snaps and keeps putting up donuts in the box scores. It's easy to overlook McDonald's rookie struggles and lack of production though, since, well, the Jets' defense has been lights out this year. Number 16, Emmanuel Forbes, F. Not to be Captain Obvious here, but it's not a good look when you've been benched multiple times to begin your NFL career. Forbes was absolutely humiliated by Bears star wideout DJ Moore in Week 5 on Thursday Night Football. Not only are the Commanders foolish in tasking him to match up with the opposition's top wideout, but they should probably bench him for now and start the guys who give them the best chance to actually win. Number 17, Christian Gonzalez, B. Gonzalez was a rock in the Patriots secondary before unfortunately suffering a season-ending shoulder injury against Dallas in Week 4. Gonzalez had 1 interception, 3 pass defenses, and 1 sack while allowing a passer rating of just 86.1 when targeted per Pro Football Reference. The Patriots have a goodie here. Number 18, Jack Campbell, B-. The Lions are using Campbell in a rotational role, and it's serving him pretty well. And Campbell is struggling to get after the QB and has been a minor liability in the passing game, but he was always going to be a project as a surprise first-round pick. His dominance in the ground game makes up for the other shortcomings, though. Number 19, Kalijah Kancey, C. Kancey is tough to evaluate because he missed 3 games with a calf injury, but he had a great outing in the Bucs' Week 6 loss to Detroit. Per PFF, Kancey had 6 QB pressures to go along with a sack against arguably football's top offensive line, no less. But we gotta see more of him on the field for a more fair evaluation. Number 20, Jackson Smith-Njigba, C. Smith-Njigba is also difficult to grade. Smith-Njigba is only seeing a little more than half of Seattle's offensive snaps, and of course, his slice of the pie can only be so big with DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Kenneth Walker serving as Geno Smith's main weapons. Let's see if they can get him more involved down the stretch. Number 21, Quentin Johnston, F. Eesh, a giant disappointment here. There's just no way to sugarcoat it. Even with Mike Williams, the Chargers' top wideout, suffering a season-ending ACL tear in Week 3, Johnston is nowhere to be found on the field. How he himself isn't getting open when opposing defenses are focused on Keenan Allen. Number 22, Zay Flowers, A. What a savvy move by the Ravens to pair Lamar Jackson with the crafty Boston College product. Flowers has emerged as the Ravens' new go-to pass catcher, even over his star tight end Mark Andrews. Flowers is in line to hit 1,000 yards receiving as a rookie. Seriously, what more could Baltimore have asked of him? Number 23, Jordan Addison, C+. Addison has been a nice fill-in for Adam Thielen, Minnie's longtime WR2 who was cut this past offseason. He's been a serviceable complement to superstar Justin Jefferson, who is having another explosive season before landing on the IR. With Jefferson out a while, Addison has the perfect chance to pile up his stats. Bottom line, Minnie's got a scary good young receiving duo in place for years to come. Number 24, Deonte Banks, C+. Not much has gone right for the Giants this year, but Banks sure looks like a nice long-term foundational piece for this club to build around. He's not a pure shutdown corner yet, but Banks has mostly held his own despite not having a whole lot of help in the secondary. Through the Giants' first 6 games, he allowed just a 48.3 completion percentage when targeted per Pro Football Reference. Number 25, Dalton Kincaid, C-. The Buffalo Bills remain an offensive juggernaut, so it's easy to forget about Kincaid's lack of production as a rookie. Still, a team in win-now mode surely expected better than what they've gotten. Kincaid isn't getting open and averaging roughly 7 yards per catch. Good thing the Bills have Dawson Knox as their main tight end, huh? Number 26, Motzie Smith, D-. They didn't really like this pick for Dallas to start with. They have enough playmakers on the defensive line, and Smith was a big-time reach in the first round here. The Michigan product, who's seeing about 1/4 of the Cowboys' defensive snaps, is struggling to generate pressure and hasn't stood out in any way as a run stopper. Another 2023 draftee with a long way to go. Number 27, Anton Harrison, C-. Harrison struggled early to begin his career, but he's come around as a reliable blocker for Trevor Lawrence on the Jaguars' offensive line. Harrison has experienced his fair share of rookie mistakes like all offensive linemen, but he certainly looks like someone who could grow into a reliable long-term starter. Number 28, Myles Murphy, D. Murphy is seeing very limited playing time on defense and in the special teams department. Like so many other pass rushers on this list, Murphy is a work in progress who shouldn't expect much playing time this year. Number 29, Brian Bresee, C-. Breesy has been solid for the Saints as a pass rusher in a limited role, but the good folks at Pro Football Focus hate his run defense. Through 6 games, his run defense was 46.3. Breesy can't expect to finish this year as a starter if he doesn't clean that up. Number 30, Nolan Smith, D. This was always going to be a year of learning for Smith. The Eagles only had football's best front 7 a year ago, and just added Jalen Carter to the mix after all. Smith has seen very few defensive snaps and is mostly being used on special teams. Nothing about his play has jumped out yet, but you just gotta trust the process that is the Eagles' way of slowly but surely developing him. Number 31, Felix Anudike-Uzomah, C+. The defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs have been using Anudike-Uzomah in a rotational role. In his limited action, Anudike-Uzomah has generated his fair share of pressures and should be a menace in Steve Spagnuolo's blitz-happy defense for years to come. But who do you think has been the most impressive NFL rookie in 2023 so far? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton, and hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.